Welcome to the Wellnest Mamas podcast. We are committed to leading a sustainable lifestyle and making community connections. In a world where stress and chaos seem to be the norm, finding balance and fostering a sense of true well-being is essential.
Whether you are just beginning your holistic wellness journey or are already deeply dedicated to the practice, this podcast is for you. Join the Wellnest Mamas as we uncover the secrets to holistic wellness and discover the power of building a healthy community that supports and uplifts one another.
Sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on a transformative journey to leading a sustainably healthy lifestyle. We're glad you're here. Hey guys, this is Caitlin with the Wellnest Mamas, and I'm here with Steph and Azu and Lisa from the Women's Wellth 360.
Yes.
Can y'all tell us a little bit more about Women's Wellth in particular? What is this organization that you've created?
Sure. So we are a volunteer organization. So there's all women volunteers. We have 4 founders of our group. Lisa is one of the founders, and she is the owner of Natural State Life Coaching. We have another founder, Brenda Riney, and she's the owner of the Entrepreneur Source. And then our other founder is Natalie Horine, and she's a chiropractor. And then myself, who's basically a retired, long-time, business person that was in the retail industry. So between the 4 of us, we formed this group, and it's all about leaders of the community help other women, provide a platform for women who are entrepreneurs so that they can promote themselves and their products and services. So that's basically what we do. So what are the methods that we use? We do events, we do trips together, we help the women have an event and then promote themselves. So those are the ways that our organization works.
You're reaching the community. Very cool.
So how did y'all meet?
So it's a really serendipitous experience, because I was working with somebody saying, we need to really help women. But here's the deal. Most organizations only focus on one thing. For example, let's do empowerment, or just let's do like health, or just let's do wealth, right? So what we wanted to do is we wanted to combine all of it. So I was working with this woman in finance, and so this person said, you know what, you need to meet Lisa. Lisa, and I knew Lisa from nothing. and so she says, so I called her, made an appointment, and met with her in her office. So that's how we met, and then we got to talking, and then we talked for the next 2 hours. Oh, wow. And so we, form a bond, I think, from the start. And so I told her my idea, and she's like, I'm in. So she's like, well, wait till you meet Natalie, so our other founder. So between the 3 of us, we talked for another hour or 2, and so that's how we started. That's how we started, with just an idea. And from there, we created our first event. And our first event had 12 speakers, and we had
17 vendors.
17 vendors. Wow. And it was a whole day, and it was so we had people doing yoga. One woman that we know that does belly dancing, which it was fun.
I love belly dancing.
Yes. So it was a variety of things, and like very topics that really women, need to know, like the phases of the moon, how it affects our periods and things like that. We had another woman who talked about financials. How can you save money? Because we are not taught as women, about money, how to manage our money, how to keep our money, how to make money. So we had that, and then Lisa was one of the speakers, and she had the
vision board.
The vision board, which was a lot of fun because a lot of people were not exposed to vision boards back then, and this has been in 2018 was our first event. So so we went from there. Yeah.
You answered my question. I was going to ask how long you've been going and how many events have you held since then? Is it just kind of
Lisa,
not to put you on the spot for a pop quiz of numbers, but just roughly.
Well, that's a good question, because if you look at our Facebook page, Women's Wellth 360, we have at least 30 events that we've done since 2018. And we started really big, as Azu said, with 17 vendors, 12 speakers. So we had a lot of activities.
It's like a bonanza.
Yes.
Women's bonanza. And we found that the reviews were that they wanted to know all of it. So they didn't want to pick and only go to some. So instead, we broke it down to mini workshops that we have once every 1 to 2 months, which are promoted 6 weeks in advance. And every event that we've done, you can actually see it on our Facebook page. If you look back at the events, you can see the topics, you can see the affiliates that we've promoted, and then we also have a resource list of women's businesses that you can reach out to us, we send to you, and then you have like a network to get different products, services, and then also visit the actual brick and mortar like you guys.
Awesome.
Nice.
So over 30 events, definitely.
Wow. What a great network. So tell me about the last workshop that you did, the most recent one.
The last.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Azu.
it was wonderful. It was the title was Proactive Wellness. And so we wanted to cover the fact of the matter that wealth is not just money, right? So in order to life to be the most productive and the most creative, you have to integrate mind, body, and spirit. And so we chose two, mind and body, and how those two are symbiotic. That you work on one, you work on the other. It's a relationship that goes there. So we had Katie, who's a chiropractor, Katie Mortar. And and so she talked a lot about what goes in the mind and how that affects your body. So and she gave us some tips on how to I would say interact
with your emotions and mind.
And
body.
Yeah, and so doing certain movements, you can kind of interrupt, like if something's going on, so by those movements. And so that was kind of interesting. And then we had Angela Stockdale, who talked about certain kinds of supplements. Because in the world of supplements, the most important thing that you need to know is if they're available. Meaning, if you take it, it's like food. That they will do something to you, not that you're just gonna go and So
just pay it out.
Exactly. And then the epigenetics of that, and how epigenetics. It's not about genetics anymore. It's like you can intervene at the epigenetics level, meaning doing what are the tools that you have, and the supplements were part of it. So and we used a wonderful venue, the Collaborative, and I want to thank the University of Arkansas because they provide this place for free.
Wow.
And it is a wonderful, wonderful event place. And so we had about 25 women that came in, and so we had just a variety of things. We had a woman that made like bread from ancient grains. Then we had some wine tasting, wines that are are organic. So so it was kind of like a little mixture, but it was a lot of fun. And the point is learn, is educate yourself, is expand your horizons. Expand your horizons, because in this day and age, you got to be in control of what goes in your life, rather than, letting the so-called experts to tell you what's going wrong. Like doctor said, what's going wrong with you, rather what's going right with you. So, yeah.
So I hear that there's a lot of influence with businesses. Lisa, where did your business aptitude come from? I remember you telling me you had a nursing background. Like, how did the business come out of it?
That's a great question. I actually took a coaching course on business coaching. And so not only did I do the wellness, area of the coaching, but I wanted to empower myself, because, coming from the hospital area population, you don't have a lot of business training as a nurse. And so I was able to take the course, and it lined up perfectly with when I started my own business and then met Azu, and then we were inspiring each other to continue our own pursuits in conjunction with helping other women do the same. So it was almost like we joined together with Brenda and Natalie, you and I, and we said, okay, we all have our own businesses. Let's mastermind. And we created our own mastermind right out of this business coaching that I, did, and then had this going. And I think Azu and I, we even had some virtual masterminds, and then we met at Starbucks or a coffee shop, and supported local, and went to a couple different coffee shops, and we had a mastermind. And I think if more women did that, they would start learning about how to grow their business. And so I was inspired in my own process, and then we started saying, how can we help more women start a side hustle? Or maybe, I was a single mom at one point, and now I'm remarried, and so thank goodness. But at the same time, when I was a single mom, I could only imagine, like, you need support. Yeah. And even women that are married need support. It's just different, So we want to encourage women to come with us to be inspired and to see what possibilities there are, because if they talk to each one of us, they might get a little bit different perspective, and we can mastermind together.
Love it.
So
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think that a lot of women have been helped tremendously by, we don't really understand the power that we have, because between the four of us here today, there's an energy, and we have seen women develop themselves to the point to where they had nothing to wear, now it's like they feel confident about doing the things that they're doing. And so we, even though it's not about just, like I said, monetary things, it's the confidence and the power that you believe that you have yourself in order to do something. I think a lot of women have benefited from that.
Yeah.
So.
I want to highlight it's Women's Wellth, WELLTH, and 360. So we love that, because we are really rooted in a holistic philosophy and approach. And it sounds like you guys have really a very holistic approach too. Is that you want to tell us a little bit more about your general philosophy for like
pillars.
Yeah, the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
So I was telling you about how for the longest time, when you go to training, they train you on business, or they train you on health, or they train you on wealth. So, it's like, it's very siloed, okay? And what we thought is like, okay, we need to kind of combine all that stuff together, because life is not compartmentalized. Life is lived, you go, you have wealth, you have health, and all of things happening at the same time. So we created the pillars. And so we said, okay, our pillars are going to be abundance, and abundance for us means that money is not wealth. Wealth is the integration of mind, body, spirit. And what we mean is, it's your whole integrative being who's present, who is forging their own life, the way they want to live it. Is not pulled by the nose through, marketing or whatever it is. Is you create your life the way you want it, with your own creative force. And so that's what abundance is. So that was the first pillar. And then the second pillar is community. So we needed to build a community so that, because coming from South America, family and friends are really important. And friendships, are really special, because I don't have a lot of family here, but I have a lot of friends. So, we get together, and that's my family. So, we want not just to, say, women, accept women. We want to embrace women. And that means like from different communities, because we have people from Eureka Springs, we have people from Sulphur Springs, so small communities, large cities, you name it, different communities. So all those communities in a way are kind of like cultures, and you have to get together, right? You have to understand each other and respect each other. And we created what do we call it, a sisterhood. It's like we're sisters, we're soul sisters, and so how can we help each other? So that's the community strength. Do you want to talk about the other two?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, and the community really is one of my favorites, but we also have the trade and networking, and then culture. And so the culture, we do trips, as Azu mentioned. She wants to take 16 women to Machu Picchu next year. So if anyone's interested, contact Azu on going to Machu Picchu. And she also knows the people there. She has a friend, and
have friends and family. So it will be a different thing. Yes.
Yeah.
It will be not just like a trip to see sightsee, but to get to meet the people in Peru, so that you can have an understanding of the culture and appreciation of other cultures. I think that's important.
Yeah,
it's special.
It's special, and she has taken women already to Peru, and then also we go to different places. We go to Florida, and we just love taking the opportunity to travel together. So I would say culture branches off from community as one of the pillars. And then the network and trade is that once you join in with the group, it's free to join, and you can join on our website. That once you join, then you can enter, if you have a business or you're starting to grow your business, you can enter your information, and then we have that network list. So a lot of the women, I would say, do trades. Right? And so they trade business information, they refer businesses to, different people to each other, clients to each other. For example, I don't see any men in my coaching business, so I would refer them to someone like Brenda if they were wanting to start a business and they were a guy. I would do a direct referral. So people can get direct referrals, business, and they can also trade if the person is willing to trade. So you don't have to use dollars for dollars, you're using service for service, and you might have a menu and look at that and say, well, what's comparable? Let's go ahead and trade that service. So I think that's invaluable in this day and age when you're looking at helping women. So those are our other two, trade, networking, and culture.
And culture, and the trade part is like we also support businesses that are good for ourselves, good for the community, and good for the world.
Like you guys.
Because absolutely. Because why? It's like we women have the purse in the family. So we need to support good businesses with our dollars, and you don't hear that, and you get, it comes, this is the cheapest thing, but sometimes the cheapest thing is not the best thing for you. So we need to learn to how do we invest our money as women for our families, what we feed our families and all those things. So trade, it's like we need to support that, and that's what we support is businesses. So we don't we're open to businesses that, like I said, are good for yourself, good for the community, and good for the world. So
that's amazing. So if somebody's interested in joining, or participating, they would need to go to your website or Facebook. You have a Facebook page, and what about somebody who doesn't have a business? Is this for people that aren't?
So then
or is it?
Yeah, so then you're a participant.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
so you're a participant. So, yes, we have a free, so in order to be part of our group and get all the benefits that we have, because a lot of women give discounts for their services, it's for free. It's just, it's an expansion. It's like, let's work together. Let's see who's got what, and then the women that don't have anything, then they can participate, and then one day they might decide. It's like, oh, I have, like a lot of women say this. Oh, I have this hobby, like making things or doing whatever, and it's like, well, that can be a business. So, it's just a matter on how you look at it. So, if they come to our events, they get to not only, have some tips and tricks, also get to meet the women, have friends, and you just, enjoy the journey of life together. So.
Continue fostering that community and trust together, and I love it. It's really beautiful.
How many people do you usually have at your workshops?
It varies, and the latest one was 25. Usually between 10 and 13, I would say, is what we get. So they're intimate, and they're really nice, because they last for 2 hours. We do it at different locations. So Natalie is gracious, and she offers her office. So we have a few there from time to time. We use the University of Arkansas, the collaborative.
That's the one in Bentonville, right?
That's the one in Bentonville. Yep. And we have
a friend,
Heather.
Yeah, we have a friend that she has an extra home that she wanted to do an Airbnb, but she hasn't done that yet, but she staged it like one. So she said, I would like to have women's events here. And she not randomly, right, met me and Azu. We were in one of the shops in Rogers, and she said, I need to talk to you. I have a house, I'm supposed to use it with a women's group. So it was like great. So we always usually give, if the host is present and they're either speaking or participating or something, we always want to give a small amount back to the host. So we really want them to share their story if they feel called. Sometimes they have a teaching from the heart that may not have to do with like their direct, job, but they host. So we're looking for more hosts if anyone's interested, and also just being a part of, like, hey, I can host, and then also that grows their business because they're looked at as kind of a forum for events. So really neat. I would say.
So those are the locations that we use. And so, we just put it together, like we kind of work on the topics, of what we think it's the next thing, next topic that we need to be talking about. The one before the Proactive Wellness was Reiki.
Okay.
So we had a panel of women that did Reiki, and each one had a very different way on how they do Reiki. And not only that, but they gave a sample of what it feels to have Reiki. So it was great. The women just absolutely really loved it, and there were like connections made, and so it was wonderful. So so it depends on the topic, and it depends on the venue that we have. The office doesn't hold but about 15 to 20 people be the max.
Yeah. So depending on the host, the venue, and the topic, we kind of tailor it to maybe there's a dream that the woman has to teach this workshop, and she's like, I've always wanted to do this, and so then Azu's like, let's do it, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, so basically we bring the customers to you, then we bring the audience to you, and that's how it works. And we charge like $15 to $20. It depends on the supplies that we use, and so it's very minimal amount. We use it just for our website, for supplies that we use for our events, for food or whatever we need to buy. So it's just so that we can have growth, and we can see women take off, and really create the life they want to live. That's the basic intent.
I love that. We're really about accessibility also in products and workshops and things. And one thing that we would love to support too is if you have like a scholarship program, we would love to donate to that.
We do have one.
We do.
I know, I poked around. She did her research. I did a little.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, that's something that we
thank
really
you.
like.
You know,
I just wanted to highlight that for our listeners
absolutely.
too.
You know, if anyone is interested in that, because you know, I have been at a place in my life where I couldn't afford it. You know, I had 2 children, and all my money, I used to think, I don't even have the money to buy a piece of gum. And so, you know, I know it's difficult for women that have children. And so, you know, we try to make it as affordable as we can. And we want them also, like Lisa, through her business, does retreats. So, you know, it's nice to go away, you know, from the kids and the cows and all that stuff, to take care of yourself, like self-care. We are big on self-care. And so we use that money to support the woman to be able to take this trip, you know, that otherwise it would not happen. So yes, we do.
Yeah, they can reach out to us and kind of apply through an interview with the zoo, and then we usually do 1 to 2 women per year on a sponsorship, and it could be an event. We also sponsored women at our first event from a wonderful organization, and they came and did the belly dancing and had the catered lunch, and we sponsored 2 or 3 women that very first event. So we've done it since 2018.
Yeah, we have.
Every year.
We've given, you know, some of the proceeds to,
we did.
The
Big
shop,
Brothers.
the clothing shop.
Yeah, Beautiful Lives Boutique.
Beautiful
They're one
Lives,
of our
yeah.
affiliates,
We
so
love
we can
Oh
donate.
yeah,
Yes.
I have most of my wardrobes from you.
I know.
I know. It's
convenient.
It's really good, affordable, and
You can always find an outfit. That's what I'm like. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be there.
It just shows up.
Yes.
So
Great question.
how can people reach you? The actual like name of the website and social media.
Oh,
So,
sure. Yeah. So I handle the Facebook, and Azu and I do the website, but the Facebook routes to the website. So it's Women's Wellth, WELLTH 360.com. And right there they have a pop-up and it says become a member, and they'll put their name and their email, and that helps them go on our newsletter. And Azu sends out a newsletter every quarter, and the newsletter will say like recipes, events, and then they can check our Facebook page for all the events, because they vary by, you know, month and topic, but they can participate by posting in the group. They can participate by reaching out and contacting Azu and I. There's a link on there that says become an affiliate.
Okay.
So if they do have a business or they just want to really connect, they can fill that out, and it goes to Azu's calendar, and then Azu forwards it to me, and if I can attend, we will see them together. Yep. And we usually go to lunch. And
Yes.
it's usually a great lunch.
And you know, there's like an abundance of ideas, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you know, each woman has their own. Like somebody is like all about vegan, and she says, you know, vegan doesn't need to be boring, you know. So it's like, okay, great, that's a topic.
Okay,
you know?
great.
So that's the way it happens. So
Yeah.
and so we also have email. So our email is womenswell360 all together in small letters, 360 at gmail.com. So either way, they can get in contact with us. And so so we're giving a call for women that have businesses that would like to be highlighted. And so it will be an event, and it can be either your, you know, in your, let's say if you were going to do it, it'll be in your like location, or it will be at a location that we provide. So so if you don't have a location, great, we can provide the location, and we'll, you know, we promote it 6 weeks ahead, and you know, Lisa and I work on all the promoting. So we create our PowerPoint with all the things that the person is going to talk about, and we kind of coach them that way. And you know, it's very professional, because you know, that's the environment that I come from, and so it works really great because, women learn, women get to be highlighted, women get to be exposed themselves to talk to like a group of people that they don't know. So it is wonderful experience. So.
And the one thing Azu likes to incorporate is always an activity. So I will say that it's, what did you say the other day? That it's different when you're just at a lecture and people are like, oh my gosh, this is how long, and I have to stretch. So what we started doing is we introduce the person, they share a little bit, and then we do the activity. And right after that, we usually have a break. So we incorporate our wine tasting on the break. The last one, it went so well, you guys. Like we said, we are going to do this almost, every single time. But, it doesn't have to be wine tasting. It can be just, a stretch break.
We've done tea.
Done tea.
It just...
And we want to do a cooking class coming up where Azu maybe start teaching about like how to make layered jar salads and things.
Oh yeah, I mean,
we have a lot of ideas.
As a mom of two, I'm always I thought, oh my goodness, it's so daunting to cook dinner after a long day of work, and so now that I have the time and ability to do this, I was like, oh, I can be organized and have everything cooked, cut up. And put in mason jars, and mason jars are amazing because
I know.
They last longer, and so how do you do that? And then cook some nutritious foods for your family. I don't think no longer is okay to just say, oh, you can have pizza, so it's easy and cheap.
No,
so,
I'm kidding.
maybe once in a while, but not on a regular basis. And cooking from scratch is just it's easy. It's easy if you just work ahead, and that's the easy part.
The prepping. Yes. I have a friend. She has one day a week that she's like, I got all the prep I'm doing. I'm like, goals.
Yes. We're deep in soup season at my house. I got a new soup pot. It's 22 quarts. Nice. It's like the size of this little table. And so I make a huge batch, and then we're having soup until next July.
Absolutely. Because it's the labor of doing if you're doing one time, 2 times, instead of doing a whole. I do the same thing and put it in the freezer in the mason jars. And I was like, oh, do you want chicken soup? Great. Out of the freezer. So exactly. So you control, no preservatives, no. It's made, and you know what? It's made with love. So there's a secret ingredient in the food.
That's a tip for you.
So
that might be a next topic.
Who
knows? Very cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But we love ideas.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to share before we...
Well, do you want to tell them about the 360 Lotus program?
Sure. So we do have a program is Lotus 360, and the Lotus flower is very interesting because it's abundance, right? It's all the petals that it has, and
it grew from mud.
Yes, and it grows from mud, so it's like even from a bad thing, some good things can happen. So, so the 360 is if you just starting a business and you want to be promoted, we can promote you. So 2 events, and we can promote you on social media, and for the year. So do promotions and events, 2 events. And it's $360, which is very cheap to do. And so, that's an offering that we have. And we actually have done that. And it just, the person is just beside themselves because, they have all the attention that they've not even, they cannot do it on their own. I mean, you can't. It's like you have help. You need help to promote your products and or services, whatever it is that you have. So
And so is there an area on the website that you can access that?
Yeah.
Or so not direct email, just go to the website and can find it.
Very cool. What a great opportunity.
And we just thought, that was a person who maybe they've already made the steps to developing their business, but they really you know how women they promote other people really well,
Yeah.
but then they miss that like punchline about who, you know, the offer. They don't say that offer. So we really work with the woman to get their 1 minute like spiel like from the heart. And then we want them to say their offer, or we will help them with that, because we want to develop the ability for women to speak their truth and to say what their offer is very clearly, so that's what the 360 program is, that they can articulate what they offer and tell their story. At the same time, getting over that feeling of like, oh, you know, it's just this, or why should I, you know, tell everybody this? I mean, Azu in action gets it going.
Undervalue, you know, a lot of women undervalue their services and products. And so you really need to like, okay, how can you provide like, you know, and everybody's unique. They offer something different. So how do you offer something and it's value? It's value that you provide. And so how, you know, how is that equate to what you're charging for your services? So that we help with that. And so, it's a comprehensive thing, and so we enjoy doing it. Lisa and I enjoy doing this. So
and we want to do more of that, because I think then the community gets stronger together, and that women have clear offers, and that we can start using each other's products and services for, you know, maybe even we helped someone even go into Walmart, I think, with their services. Like they're growing to the point
Shark
where
Tank.
they're Shark Tanking it. You know, developing a menu of services.
Wow.
Getting together with another woman who needed an office mate, and then they were able to connect and have an office.
Oh, that's
and
really cool.
so these developments happen organically.
Yeah, just for the connections, you know, the networking. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's having the network, you know, provide such a value for anybody that belongs to it. If you were to do it alone, you can, but if you have all this network, you know, there's definitely a possibility, you know, for help. And in times of need, like we've seen now with the hurricane and all those things, it's, you know, we just need to be alert, and we need to help each other, and we need to know who we need to contact for what. And so, you know, that's a method of, you know, a strong community. We can no longer stand on the sidelines, ladies. We need to get out there and, you know, create the world that we want to live in. I don't want to live in this fight mode, you know, a fight and flight mode. I want to be in a growth mode.
Yes.
And that is, you know, creating things that are valuable for people, helping women, you know, develop these things and be positive. It's like, you know, there's a lot of possibility, you know, and we just need to go do it.
So. Connect to the possibility.
Yes.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I
Thank
really
you so
enjoyed this,
much.
and I'm looking forward to talking more and getting to know you even more in the
Sure.
future.
Thank you for inviting
you.
us.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
we
you
really
so
appreciate this. So we love your shop. So
Wonderful. All right, guys.
Bye, everybody.